silence or mistrust your intentions. You must remain unshaken. The path of influence is rarely understood by the average mind. When you build connections at high levels, you must be prepared for criticism from low levels. The greatest strategy is to stay focused, stay calm, and allow results to respond for you. Your ascension must always be tied to your personal code. Know your values, know what you stand for, know the lines you will never cross. Influence gained without integrity collapses quickly. Influence built on character becomes unbreakable. When powerful people realize that you can be trusted even in positions of temptation, they elevate you without hesitation. Trust is the currency of influence, and integrity is the bank that holds it. And above all, remember that your ultimate goal is not to simply connect with powerful people. It is to become someone powerful yourself, not by imitating them, but by refining yourself into someone whose presence naturally commands respect. The greatest connections are formed not by reaching upward, but by rising inward. When you elevate your mind, your discipline, your emotional strength, and your strategy, your circle will naturally begin to reflect the power you carry. As you continue to rise, you will notice that the world of the powerful operates on a different timeline. Their decisions are long-term. Their relationships are strategic. Their conversations are sharper, deeper, more focused. If you want to remain in their orbit, you must elevate the way you think. Surface-level talk drains them. Drama repels them. Complaints push them away instantly. What attracts them is someone who brings perspective, someone who can take a complex situation and simplify it, someone who can cut through the fog and deliver clarity. To connect deeply, you must learn the art of controlled vulnerability, not the kind that exposes your weaknesses to everyone, but the kind that shows self-awareness, the willingness to reflect, to grow, to improve. When you speak about your challenges with composure, you show maturity. When you speak about your ambitions without arrogance, you show promise. When you speak about your growth with humility, you show character. Powerful people are drawn to those who can be honest without being fragile. One of the greatest secrets in forming elite connections is patience. Many people destroy opportunities by rushing the relationship before it has roots. They ask for favors too soon. They expect mentorship before they've earned trust. They want closeness before they've built value. Impatience signals immaturity. The powerful value those who allow relationships to evolve naturally. You must learn to endure the slow pace of real influence. Trust builds gradually, like a flame growing from a spark. If you force it, you extinguish it. Control your reactions. You will encounter moments where someone influential challenges you, disagrees with you, or even tests you deliberately. Do not panic. Do not take it personally. The powerful observe everything: your tone, your composure, your ability to stay respectful while staying firm. If they see that pressure cannot shake you, they elevate their respect. If they see that disagreement does not break you, they deepen the connection. Learn to be comfortable with silence. Silence is not emptiness, it is a signal, the insecure rush to fill silence. The wise use silence to reveal truth. In conversations with powerful people, silence allows them to think, reflect, or speak further. When you remain comfortable in those quiet moments, you show depth. Silence becomes your negotiation tool, your communication advantage, your psychological anchor. As you grow closer to individuals of influence, remember that curiosity is more powerful than brilliance. Ask thoughtful questions, not the obvious ones that everyone repeats, but the kind that reveal deeper understanding. Ask about their principles, not just their achievements. Ask about their failures, not just their victories. Ask about what shaped them, not just what rewarded them. People in positions of power rarely encounter individuals genuinely interested in their inner world. When you show that interest with elegance, you create a bond few can replicate. Another principle is emotional independence. Your happiness, your confidence, your momentum must not depend on their approval. The moment someone senses you rely on them for your self-worth, you lose your value. You become dependent instead of equal. Your life must continue with or without their attention. Your goals must progress even when they are absent. Emotional independence is what makes powerful people feel comfortable giving you access. They know you will not crumble, cling, or collapse under the weight of the relationship. You must become the kind of person who rises through competence. Do your work with excellence, even when no one is watching. Execute tasks with precision. Deliver results that exceed expectations. When you consistently show discipline and effort, powerful people take notice. They value those who follow through, those who don't make excuses, those who treat every responsibility, big or small, with seriousness. Consistency builds your reputation, and your reputation opens doors before you knock. As you move deeper into circles of influence, you will realize that the powerful connect most with those who understand subtle boundaries. Know when to speak and when not to. Know when to stay and when to leave. Know when to ask and when to remain silent. You must never overstep. You must never assume intimacy. You must never take access for granted. Boundaries show respect, and respect builds longevity. Every connection you make must be protected. Never exploit your association with powerful people. Never boast about them. Never use their name for validation. The moment you turn the relationship into a trophy, you lose it. Influence grows in silence. The most powerful alliances are the quietest. When you protect the relationship from noise, envy, and unnecessary exposure, it matures more naturally and more deeply. Over time, you will learn that connecting with powerful individuals is not about entering their world. It is about becoming someone whose world they want to enter. Build your own foundation, develop your own network, strengthen your skills, sharpen your mind. When they see you as someone rising through your own merit, not riding their shadow, you gain their respect. They want to associate with people who elevate themselves, not people who depend on proximity to mimic importance. And as your circle grows, stay grounded. Power becomes dangerous when it feeds your ego. You must remain aware of the journey that brought you here, the discipline, the humility, the patience. The more influence you gain, the more disciplined you must become. Let your character deepen instead of your arrogance. Let your wisdom grow instead of your pride. The rise to influence is not difficult. The challenge is staying true to yourself once you arrive. As your journey advances, you will discover that every powerful person operates behind multiple layers. What you see publicly is only a fraction of their true identity. Their real thoughts, their real struggles, their real ambitions, these are hidden beneath the surface, protected by years of experience, caution, and scars. If you want to connect with them on a deeper level, you must learn to see beyond what is shown. Look for what is not said. Listen for what is implied. Watch for the pauses, the hesitations, the subtle changes in tone. These quiet signals reveal far more than grand declarations ever will. Influential people appreciate those who understand nuance. Many individuals speak in extremes, too emotional, too direct, too passive, too aggressive. But those who master nuance communicate with balance. They know when to soften their presence and when to sharpen. They know how to persuade without force, how to disagree without conflict, how to advise without dominating. Nuance is the language of the elite, and when you speak it fluently, doors open that brute confidence could never unlock. As you build stronger relationships, remember that you must always protect your inner world. Never reveal everything at once. Your ambitions, your plans, your weaknesses, your strategies, these must remain guarded. Share selectively, intentionally, and only when necessary. A person who reveals too much becomes predictable, and predictability dulls influence. Let people see your strength, not your entire structure. Let them witness your movement, not your entire map. Mystery is not manipulation. Mystery is protection. One skill that will elevate you above many is emotional neutrality. Not coldness, not indifference, but controlled emotion. When someone criticizes you, respond with calm curiosity. When someone praises you, accept it with humility. When someone challenges you, engage with logic, not ego. Emotional neutrality makes you unshakable. It shows that you operate from internal grounding rather than external triggers. And powerful individuals trust those who do not crumble under emotion, because such people can be relied upon when stakes are high. As you begin interacting more frequently with influential people, shift your mindset from a "what can I gain" to "what can I contribute." Contribution is the root of influence, but contribution does not always mean giving solutions. Sometimes the greatest contribution is perspective. Sometimes it is stability. Sometimes it is a single sentence that shifts someone's thinking. The powerful value those who elevate their clarity, not those who overcomplicate their world. Be the person whose presence improves the quality of their decisions. At times, you must learn to create distance without disconnecting. Distance shows strength. Distance shows confidence. Distance shows that you respect your own time, your own goals, your own journey. When you occasionally pull back, you remind others of your independence. They begin to see you not as someone orbiting their world, but someone who has a world of their own. Distance creates respect. Clinging creates fatigue. Another truth you must understand is that influence grows in private long before it becomes visible in public. Your habits, your routines, your discipline, your mindset, these form the foundation that powerful people notice. They can sense whether you are consistent or chaotic, whether you operate with intention or impulse. Every day that you work silently on yourself, you sharpen the aura that speaks for you before you ever enter a room. As your presence grows, you must master the art of controlled intensity. Your words must carry weight. Your movements must have purpose. Your decisions must reflect clarity. People notice when someone operates with internal fire but external calm. It creates a magnetic energy, one that signals ambition without boasting, strength without aggression, focus without noise. You rise inward so you can rise outward, and even then the journey never ends. Because influence is not a destination, it is a state of constant refinement. Every interaction, every decision, every moment either strengthens or weakens your presence. Machiavelli's name is often connected with power, influence, and understanding human nature. People today use his ideas the wrong way, as if relationships are a game of control. But the truth is far deeper. Real attraction, real connection, and real love do not come from tricks or manipulation. They grow from character, confidence, emotional strength, and the way you carry yourself. When you understand this, you no longer chase approval. People start gravitating toward you on their own. There is a reason certain men walk into a room and instantly command attention without saying a word. It is not because they are loud or aggressive. It is because they have mastered themselves. They understand their emotions. They do not react out of fear, and they do not let circumstances shake their center. When a man reaches this level of inner stability, he becomes magnetic. Women sense emotional stability in the same way a compass senses the north. It feels safe, steady, and rare. And people always move toward what feels rare. You can never force someone to want you. You can only become the kind of person they genuinely desire. And this begins with the way you value yourself. When you stop begging for attention, when you no longer feel the need to be chosen, you suddenly become the one who is chosen. A man who is complete within himself automatically becomes attractive because he doesn't display the hunger that pushes people away. He carries a quiet confidence, the kind that says, "I'm good with you and I'm good without you." That is the energy that pulls people closer. Attraction is not about what you say, it's about what you project. If your energy is desperate, you push people away. If your energy is grounded, they are drawn in. You cannot fake inner confidence. You cannot pretend strength. These qualities are born from self-respect, discipline, and the ability to walk away from anything that threatens your peace. When a man demonstrates that he can control himself, he influences others without even trying. Machiavelli would say, "Power belongs to the one who needs nothing." Women do not fall for men who chase endlessly. They fall for men who have purpose, vision, and direction. Not because of money or status, but because a man with direction cannot be lost in others. He has goals. He has a mission. He wakes up with intention. A man like this becomes a force. He becomes someone a partner can trust, respect, and look up to. And when a woman feels admiration, desire naturally follows. Attraction is not built on words, it is built on lifestyle. Another powerful truth is that mystery strengthens desire, not secrecy, not games, but depth. When you reveal everything about yourself too quickly, you remove all excitement. Humans value what takes time to understand. You must allow your personality to unfold slowly, naturally, with richness and depth. When a woman feels there is more to learn about you, the connection becomes stronger. This is not manipulation, it is emotional maturity. People bond slowly and meaningfully with those who don't overwhelm them with intensity. Space is another element of attraction that many men ignore. Constant availability kills desire. Relationships need oxygen. They need time apart to allow feelings to grow. If you make yourself too accessible, you lose your value. A man who has a full life, friends, goals, fitness, creativity, work, naturally provides that space. And that space increases desire. Machiavelli teaches that influence comes not from force, but from allowing others the freedom to choose you. When a woman feels she can breathe around you, she wants to stay close. Women are not attracted to dominance. They are attracted to self-dominance. A man who controls his impulses, his emotions, and his reactions becomes incredibly powerful in any relationship. When she becomes emotional, he stays centered. When she tests his patience, he stays calm. When life becomes chaotic, he becomes the rock. This stability creates a feeling inside a woman that is stronger than excitement. It creates trust, admiration, and emotional safety. These feelings turn into deep desire. Modern society teaches men to impress, but real power comes from inspiring. Impressing is temporary. Inspiring is magnetic. When you elevate your communication, improve your lifestyle, show honesty, stand on your boundaries, and treat people with respect, you become the kind of man a woman doesn't want to lose. Women crave emotional intelligence more than perfection. They want a man who listens, understands without judgment, leads without controlling, and loves without losing himself. The greatest hidden truth is that attraction begins inside you. When you grow, everything in your life grows with you. When you raise your standards, your relationships rise to match them. When you respect yourself, others cannot treat you any lower. Your confidence becomes effortless. Your presence becomes powerful. Your words carry weight. And your energy becomes something people feel the moment you walk into a room. Women do not beg for men who chase them. They beg for men who choose themselves first. Men who know their worth. Men who speak less and act more. Men who hold boundaries. Men who walk away when they must. Men who stay soft but strong, calm but confident, kind but firm, loving but not blind. A man who becomes this version of himself never needs to manipulate desire. His presence creates it. In the end, these so-called hidden rules are not about controlling anyone. They are about mastering yourself. When you master yourself, the world responds to you differently. People respect you more. Women feel drawn to you on a level they don't even fully understand. Love becomes effortless because you are no longer chasing it. You are becoming someone it naturally flows toward. And that is the deepest truth Machiavelli ever pointed to. The one who holds power is the one who has conquered himself. There is a moment in every man's life when he realizes something important. That the world does not reward those who shout the loudest, beg the hardest, or chase the fastest. The world rewards those who understand themselves. A man who knows who he is becomes impossible to ignore. His silence speaks louder than other people's noise. His calmness feels stronger than someone else's aggression. When you reach this stage, you don't go after love. Love starts coming after you. And that shift begins with one thing: self-control. If a man cannot control his emotions will control his life. His anger will destroy opportunities. His insecurities will push people away. His fear will block connections. But once he takes ownership of his emotional world, everything starts to change. He stops reacting. He starts responding. He begins to move with intention instead of impulse. This emotional discipline makes him unmistakably attractive because it is extremely rare in today's world. A man who can stay calm is a man others feel safe around. Safety is the deepest form of attraction. Women do not fall in love with chaos. They fall in love with certainty. When she sees that you can handle life, she begins to trust you. When she realizes you don't break under pressure, she begins to admire you. When she feels that her emotions don't scare you, she begins to open up. And once she opens her heart, everything changes. But for her to reach that level of openness, you must first reach a level of maturity. Maturity is not about age. It is about awareness. It is about understanding that every action creates a consequence, every word creates an impression, and every reaction tells a story. When a man becomes aware of how he shows up in the world, he suddenly becomes responsible for himself. He stops blaming circumstances. He stops blaming others. He becomes the author of his own life. This responsibility makes him powerful because people can feel when a man is in control of his destiny. Women are naturally drawn to men who are leaders in their own life, not leaders over others. leaders over themselves. Leadership is not dominance. It is direction. It is clarity. It is the ability to say, I know where I'm going. You're welcome to walk with me, but I won't stop moving. That kind of man becomes irresistible because purpose is magnetic. When you have something meaningful to chase, you stop chasing people. And when you stop chasing people, the right people start following you. One of the biggest mistakes men make is giving away their power too quickly. They throw their attention, their time, and their emotions at someone who hasn't yet earned them. This creates imbalance. The woman feels pressured. The man feels ignored. Attraction dies. But when a man values himself, he does not offer everything at once. He lets connection unfold naturally. He gives his presence selectively. He allows the relationship to breathe. And by doing this, he becomes more desirable, not less. Because value increases when it is not given to everyone. Another truth is that a man's energy sets the tone of every interaction he has. If he is insecure, he will create doubt. If he is needy, he will create distance. If he is unstable, he will create tension. But if he is grounded, he creates peace. If he is confident, he creates trust. If he is intentional, he creates desire. Energy is not visible, but it is always felt. And the more you purify your energy by improving your mind, your habits, your discipline, the more powerful your presence becomes. Presence is a silent force. It is not about being loud, extroverted, or flashy. It is about the quiet intensity that surrounds you when you know who you are. A man with presence doesn't need validation. He doesn't need to prove himself. He doesn't need to perform. He simply exists with strength. And that strength turns into attraction. Women feel it instantly, even before they consciously understand it. A man's presence can make a woman feel protected, understood, and drawn in, all without a single word spoken. But presence requires solitude. A man becomes strong when he spends time alone, when he reflects, when he builds himself, when he confronts his weaknesses, and when he refines his character. Solitude sharpens a man. It allows him to discover his purpose. It allows him to master his emotions. It teaches him how to function without constant approval. When a man learns to be alone without feeling lonely, he becomes unstoppable. Because he no longer fears losing anyone. He only focuses on becoming someone worth keeping. In relationships, the most powerful man is not the one who controls his partner. It is the one who controls the pace of the connection. Not by playing games, but by maintaining standards. By not accepting disrespect, by not tolerating inconsistency, by not rewarding bad behavior, by walking away when needed. Strength is not in holding on. Strength is in knowing when to let go. And when a woman sees that you are willing to walk away, she realizes that your love is a choice, not a dependency. This makes your presence more valuable. Women are instinctively attracted to men who respect themselves. Because self-respect shows that you have boundaries. Boundaries show that you have discipline. Discipline shows that you have direction. Direction shows that you have ambition. And ambition shows that you have a future. A woman doesn't fall for a man's charm. She falls for his potential. She falls for the journey he is on. She falls for the world he is building. She falls for the man he is becoming. And the most fascinating truth is that desire grows strongest in the space between two people. Not in the closeness, but in the distance. Not in the constant conversations, but in the silence. Not in availability, but in unpredictability. When you live a full life, your attention becomes precious. Your time becomes meaningful. Your presence becomes something she looks forward to, not something she gets tired of. Desire grows when she feels that being with you enriches her life, not that you are depending on her to complete yours. A powerful man does not chase emotions. He creates emotional experiences. He doesn't give empty compliments. He gives meaningful connection. He doesn't rush intimacy. He deepens understanding. He doesn't demand loyalty. He inspires it. He doesn't try to impress. He tries to evolve. And evolution is the strongest aphrodisiac, because nothing is more attractive than a man who keeps becoming better. The truth is simple. You don't make someone beg for you by trying to convince them. You make them beg for you by becoming unforgettable, by being a man with depth, character, purpose, confidence, consistency, emotional strength, and self-respect. When you become this person, you don't need to manipulate anyone. You don't need tactics, tricks, or strategies. You become the kind of man a woman feels lucky to have, the kind of man she doesn't want to lose, the kind of man she thinks about even in silence. When you master yourself, you master attraction, because attraction begins in the mind, grows in the heart, and is maintained by the soul. And when you align all three, you become a man who doesn't chase. He chooses, a man who doesn't plead. He attracts, a man who doesn't break. He bends, a man who doesn't dominate. He leads, a man who doesn't manipulate. He inspires. There comes a time when a man realizes that the world mirrors him. Whatever energy he sends out, it returns to him multiplied. If he moves with fear, follows him. If he carries insecurity, insecurity shapes his relationships. But when he walks with confidence, confidence surrounds him. When he leads with calmness, calmness becomes his environment. When he lives with purpose, purpose pulls him forward like gravity. And when he lives with dignity, people treat him with dignity. This is the invisible law of human attraction. Your external world becomes a reflection of your internal state. Every man must understand this profound truth. Women do not fall in love with you first. They fall in love with how they feel around you. Your presence either brings peace or it brings chaos. Your energy either creates certainty or confusion. Your words either build trust or create doubt. And your silence. Yes. Even your silence either feels safe or feels threatening. When a man becomes aware of this, he stops trying to impress and starts trying to improve. Because once you improve yourself, you no longer need strategies. A woman can sense the difference between a man who is pretending to be confident and a man who is confident. One uses loudness as armor. The other uses silence as strength. One tries to prove himself. The other simply becomes himself. You cannot fake real masculinity. Yes, real masculinity is not about dominance, aggression, or ego. It is about direction, restraint, presence, and responsibility. It is the force that says, I will protect what matters. I will remain calm in the storm. I will choose discipline over desire. I will not be moved by instability. This is the kind of masculinity that a woman feels, even before she understands it. And this same masculinity is not rigid or cold. It understands emotion deeply. It listens. It observes. It responds with intention, not with impulse. A strong man does not run from emotions. He masters them. He does not ignore feelings. He understands them. He doesn't explode. He expresses. Emotional intelligence is not softness. It is power. It is the power to keep your heart open while keeping your standards high. The power to be gentle without being weak. The power to care without losing yourself. The power to love without becoming blind. Most men today confuse attention with affection. They think the more they give, the more they will receive. But in reality, the more you give without measure, the faster you lose your value. Women do not desire endless attention. They desire meaningful attention. Presence has more weight than quantity. A single moment of focused presence is more attractive than 1,000 messages sent out of insecurity. A single thoughtful gesture is more powerful than constant availability. A single moment of emotional honesty is more impactful than hours of fake charm. A man becomes irresistibly attractive when he learns the art of pacing, when he knows when to speak and when to remain silent, when to give and when to hold back, when to move closer and when to step back. Not out of manipulation, but out of emotional intelligence. Relationships are like music. They require rhythm. Too fast and it becomes noise. Too slow and it becomes dull. But when you connect with rhythm, the relationship becomes harmony. And harmony is what creates. Another truth is often misunderstood. Women are not drawn to perfect men. They are drawn to progressing men. Men who grow. Men who evolve. Men who face their weaknesses instead of hiding them. Men who build their life instead of complaining about it. Men who rise after every fall. Perfection is intimidating, but progress is inspiring. A woman feels safe with a man who is committed to becoming better because she knows that his growth will carry the relationship forward. When she sees you working on yourself, not for her, but for your own integrity, she starts to believe in you, sometimes even more than you believe in yourself. But growth requires sacrifice. You cannot become the man you want to be while holding on to the habits that are destroying you. You cannot rise while clinging to the things keeping you low. Every strong man has let go of something, an addiction, a distraction, a comfort, a fear, a toxic relationship, a version of himself that no longer served his future. Strength is not built in the moment of victory. It is built in the moment of surrender. When you give up the things that are killing your potential, a woman can sense that strength. She can feel when you are a man who chooses growth over pleasure, intention over impulse, purpose over distraction. The deeper truth is that a woman's desire is awakened not by the man she sees in front of her, but by the man she believes he will become. If she sees depth in your eyes, she opens. If she sees purpose in your actions, she trusts. If she sees integrity in your choices, she respects. If she sees strength in your silence, she admires. And if she sees mystery in your character, she